The third chapter is about medical malpractice, medical negligence, and about the Consumer Protection Act. Today we are going to see on medical malpractice. The first topic is medical malpractice. The definition about the medical malpractice is a legal cause of action that occurs when a medical or healthcare professional deviates from standards in his or her profession, thereby causing injury to the patient. This is the definition, which explains as in today's medical field there are many situations which causes action that is illegal against the patient, which comes under not giving proper care to the patient when the doctor fails to give proper care when the patient is under care of the healthcare. So medical malpractice is a legal cause which the patient can compile a file on the medical profession when the doctor fails to give wrong treatment or wrong information to the patient about their health condition. So there are major objectives of medical malpractice, which is also called as 4 major D's of medical practice, which is called duty, dereliction. Second D comes for dereliction, the third D comes for damages, and the fourth D comes for direct cause. We are going to see one by one like the 4 D's. The first D is called as duty. A patient must prove that they had a patient-physician or patient-healthcare provider relationship established and that the healthcare provider owed them a duty of care. Anyone caring for a patient in a medical setting is required to follow the protocol and exercise competence when caring for the patient. So, when a patient comes to a hospital for getting treatment from the hospital or any clinic or healthcare profession, the patient must prove that they had really had a relationship, that is a healthcare relationship, patient-physician relationship. Then only they may consider, that is the legal people will consider them as a medical malpractice. Anyone who is caring for the patient, either they may be a nurse or a doctor or any healthcare professional who is taking care of the patient, should follow the protocol which is exercised. Already we have seen in the previous subjects what are all the physical rules which the physicians have to take care or to follow the protocol. We have seen the physician protocol, pharmacist protocol and all we have seen already in this. So they have to follow. The duty of the doctor is to follow the protocol when the doctor is taking care of the patient. So they are required to listen to the patient and respect their views and requests. So when the doctor is going to treat a patient, that time the doctor must listen what the patient really wanted to take care and what is the patient really feeling about themselves before starting a treatment. It is the duty of the patient to explain about their condition, and it is the very most responsibility of the doctor to listen to them, whether it may be wrong or right. It is the duty of the doctor to listen to the patient, and if the specialist feels that they do not have the credential to properly care for the patient, they should refer them to another medical professional who can. Suppose if the hospital is not having any proper equipments for treating that particular kind of diagnosis, in the case if that hospital is really dealing with the cardiac specialist patients alone, means if something like ophthalmology patients, maybe it is common that patients doesn't know the real speciality of the hospital, so they may come wrongly. But in order to gain money or in order to gain patient count, the physician should not accept the patient if the treating things are not available in the hospital. If the equipment or proper things are not available in the hospital, the physician is supposed to refer to the patient to another hospital where the facility is really available. So next, this is the duty. This is a patient duty is to explain their views, and the doctor's duty is to accept what the patient is really wanted, and if they are not ready with the equipments or procedures, they should surely refer them to another hospital where the medical profession who can do that really. The second D is about deviation. Deviation in the sense physician deviates from the expected standards of care. The physician fails. The physician does not follow the real rules where the standard of care is really available. Physicians and healthcare providers are held to a higher standard than someone who does not have a license to practice medicine. Therefore, if they deviate from the industry accepted standard, they could be found liable for malpractice. The patient must show that the physician or healthcare provider failed to comply with those medical standards. In the deviation case, the patient must prove that the physician failed to practice proper care to them. In that case, if a healthcare provider is running a hospital or clinic, he should have the proper license to run, which is the main standard of the healthcare professional thing. And if the physicians fail to have that license, or if he is not holding a proper degree of his thing, the patient have all the authority to case a file on the doctor. And the third D is some of the major examples of deviations is misdiagnosing a patient. Misdiagnosing is a patient means if a patient is having a fever thing or some other symptoms, and the physician failed to give proper diagnosis, or prescribing wrong medicines, or saying that some other diagnosis which is not in that particular patient, is called a deviation. Giving the wrong medication. If the patient is having fever and he is giving some stomachache medicines or some other thing, then the patient can have the thing to file a case on the doctor. Prescribing a medication that has a dangerous interaction. So in some cases, if the patient is having some other diagnosis, in case if the patient is having some skin disease or thing, and he may get treating with another diagnosis also, if the medications or the medicines will not be able to accept, the patient cannot, maybe he is having some adverse reactions or some allergic conditions to some of the medications, and even knowing after those, if the doctor is prescribing those medicines, so the patient is having the full not the authority to sue the doctor. So, prescribing the wrong dose, using medications for off-label treatment. So if the physician is having pharmacy or other thing and giving medicines which is not authorized by the government or by the standards, and giving them for treating the people, which is very wrong. During unnecessary procedures, surgical errors. If this particular surgery is not at all needed for a patient, then the physician must not enter into that. In case, in spite of doing that, in order to gain money by doing that particular procedure or surgery, the patient can sue case on the doctor. And the third thing is damages. The patient must also show, using a proof of the evidence, that the physician deviation from the acceptable standards causes damages. Damages are just physical but also may be mental, emotional and financial. Evidence to prove this include medical records, prescription records, statements from other physicians in a similar industry, and the cost of corrective treatment to the patient endured. Evidence must show that the breach of duty did cause the injury, and that injury included physical and financial damage. Damages is if the physician is doing some treatment and which causes damages to the patient, is called the damage. The patient must also prove that the patient has been damaged by the physician, that he has done the wrong treatment or done the wrong surgery. He must prove that damages, either it may be mental, physical, which emotionally can also damage the patient. The physician may also damage the patients emotionally, also financially. He would have got so much money with does not worth the treatment. These are all the damages which is done to the patients by the physicians. So some of the proofs where the patient can prove that they have been damaged by the physicians are medical records. With the records what the physician has treated, we all have seen under medical records, where everything comes and it's the compile of the full patient record can also stand as a proof for the damages. Prescription records, something wrong medications and all will be described in the prescription, so the patient can show the prescription to show the proof as a proof. And evidence must show that the breach of duty did cause the injury, and that injury included physical and financial damage. They cannot just say that some other source also that the physician has made. They should prove that this was the particular injury which damaged mine, which is done by the physician. The fourth D is the direct cause. A patient must show that the deviation by the healthcare provider was the direct cause of his or her injuries. For example, a broken arm does not heal correctly because the orthopodist did not apply the cast per the industry standard. In that case, the patient would have the direct cause linking the healthcare provider or that injuries. On the other hand, if the patient was playing football with a broken arm in a cast and they fell and injured it further, then the physician is not the direct cause of the injury. Instead, it would be the patient who did not follow the treatment protocol of the arm. The direct cause explains that a patient must show that some of the example can prove the direct cause. This is if a patient is having a broken arm, broken hand, and does not heal correctly because the orthopedist did not put the cast, that is the POP or the cast, whatever it is, if he does not put it properly, then it won't be get it treated soon. So in that case, the direct cause is applicable. On the other hand, if the patient is having a cast which is properly done by the doctor, and even though he is having a cast in his hand, but he is going for playing football or something, and he broke his hand again by falling down or hitting somewhere else, and the broken hand got injured again, so he cannot sue the direct cause on the physician. It is his own mistake and not the doctor's mistake. In the case if the doctor did not put the POP or the cast in the wrong way, he can sue the case. If it's only the physician's mistake towards the broken arm, it can be the direct cause. Some of the example of medical malpractice are marketing or advertising. We should not, it is there as a real standard, we should not marketing it. Healthcare thing cannot be marketing like some other business, electronic business or something else. It cannot be marketing or advertising. Patient and copyright. Running an open shop dispensing of drugs and appliances by physicians. The physicians are not allowed to dispense drugs. Only the pharmacist has the only has the only authority to dispense medicines, and not the physicians. Though he will prescribe medicines, only the pharmacist has the authority to dispense drugs. Rebates and commission. The doctor, if he is performing any treatment or thing, he should not get commission from the patient, or if he should not ask for some other people to bring patients who are sick from their other areas to get the patients in order to get money. Accepting gifts is the main thing, which the doctors should not accept any gifts other than paying to the particular treatment. The doctors are not allowed to accept gifts. Participating in torture, we come to know in the word itself that no doctors are allowed to torture the patient mentally or physically or emotionally. They are not supposed, or they don't have any rights to torture the patient. Secret remedies, they cannot provide treatment by secretly. Everything should be recorded in the medical record. Whatever treatment, even a word which is uttered by the patient must be recorded in the medical record. Violation of regulations, that is the common thing we are seeing from the first, that proper rule must be followed by the physician. Adultery or improper conduct, no misbehaving should be done with the patients. Sex determination test, that is like if a particular person is pregnant, with the ultrasound they can find whether the baby is male or female. Even though the doctors can able to see, they are not supposed to open it to the parents or relatives or any other, or not even to the medical practitioners who are working with them. They are not allowed to say. Only after the delivery of the patient only the doctor can announce the sex of the baby. Signing false professional certificates, if nowadays it is very needed, not nowadays, like it is needed that the medical certificates are to be signed by the medical professionals only. If the person is not taking a medical leave, just he is enjoying or something else, but in order to show to their administration, they just come and ask for, I need a false sick leave or false medical certificate in order, because my institution is asking for the medical certificate and all. It is the duty for the physician not to sign for the professional certificates. Failure to diagnose or misdiagnose, if the physician is seeing a particular diagnosis such as like example we'll take breast cancer or renal failure or whatever it is, the patient is having a right to get it acknowledged by the doctor. The doctor must surely announce that he's having that particular disease. Misreading or ignoring laboratory reports, if the doctor is giving laboratory test and he fails to see the laboratory reports or just ignores that this test is not needed or this result is not needed, everything which is reported in the laboratory report must be read by the physician. Poor follow-up after care, after surgeries or anything, follow-up should be given properly. Premature discharge, if the diagnosis is done and the treatment is done or surgery is done, only after full care which is given by the physician must be, the patient must be get discharged. Without getting cure, the patient cannot be get discharged. Only when the patient gets fully satisfied by the care, only he can be get discharged. Failure to recognize symptoms, if he is having any symptoms, in case we'll take this corona itself, if the patient is having fever or some other thing, and if the doctor is seeing those symptoms, now in this pandemic disease condition, if the physician is failing to report it to the responsible authority, then the patient or the authority can sue case on the physician. Failure to order proper testing, if the patient is having particular diagnosis and if that diagnosis needs particular laboratory test or any x-ray or anything, it should be done by the physician. They cannot just deny the thing and go on. Failure to recognize symptoms, we have already seen. So now the next topic we are going to see on is medical negligence. Medical negligence is the misconduct by a medical practitioner or doctor by not providing enough care, resulting in breach of their duties and harming the patient, which are their consumers. This is almost like medical malpractice only, but it is something difference is there from medical malpractice. Difference between medical malpractice and medical negligence is: medical malpractice is the breach of duty of care by a medical provider or a medical facility. On the other hand, that is, the medical malpractice is where the physician fails to follow the rules and regulations while giving treatment to the patient, whereas in the medical negligence does not involve any intent. By mistake, the physician does the mistake, he does without any intent. He doesn't think to do that, he just forgets or he just does, but without his knowledge. Where it applies when a medical provider makes a mistake in treating the patient, and that mistake, if the medical practitioner is doing a mistake and that mistake which causes harm to the patient is called medical negligence. Medical negligence is professional medical negligence, vicarious liability. Medical is defined as the absence of reasonable care and skill or willful negligence on the part of medical practitioner. Vicarious liability is employer is responsible for the medical care. This medical negligence is categorized as civil and criminal negligence. Civil negligence. Civil negligence is a negligence which has resulted in injury which can be compensated financially. That is, if the medical professional or the physician, where he treats the patient, and if he cause any damage by mistake which can be compensated financially, is that mistake can be when he gives back the money, or he can compensate that mistake by financially. But in criminal negligence, inattention or loss of competence or criminal indifference which is so culpable, it is so culprit that financial compensation is not at all applicable in criminal negligence, because that damage which is done to the patient causes death. When the physician fails or does any mistake to the patient while doing the treatment, it causes death to the patient, is called the criminal negligence. The next topic we are going to see is Consumer Protection Act in healthcare. So all these medical malpractice, medical negligence and all can be dealt only with the Consumer Protection Act. There should be a particular act which is like followed by the authorities. Only with the particular act we can follow. Without knowing any knowledge or without knowing any proof, we cannot just punish the physicians or the patients. So this Consumer Protection Act in healthcare, like the patient might have any doubts that if the doctor is treating me correctly, or if he has any doubts in the treatment of the doctor, this Consumer Protection Act helps the patients. So Consumer Protection Act and its application to the medical profession. This necessity arose because the existing laws of the land which provide for action in cases of medical negligence under the law of tort and Indian Penal Code. So this medical Consumer Protection Act comes under the law of tort and Indian Penal Code. The problems include delay, which is medical negligence cases tend to be greater. So medical negligence cases and all are dealt in under this Consumer Protection Act. The cost of bringing an action which is not notoriously high in relation to the sums recovered in damages. Any damages, that is medical negligence or medical malpractice, is done to the patient can come under this act, that is Consumer Protection Act. Consumer is the patient, where the patient is consuming treatment from the doctor, that is called consumer protection. The consumer needs some protection now, that is called the Consumer Protection Act. Success depends on proof of both negligence and causation, difficult in cases of medical negligence. This act was made applicable to the physicians because there are no provisions in the Indian Medical Council Act 1956. So this Consumer Protection Act was made applicable in the year 1956 to entertain any complaint of the patient. So there were so many complaints from the patient was heard before the year 1956 that the physician is not treating me properly, or he failed to give me proper treatment. These cases were so many cases aroused before the year 1956. So the Indian Medical Council produced or developed this act, Consumer Protection Act, to get complaints from the patient, to take action against the medical practitioner in case any negligence has been committed. So the patients can sue or take action against the medical practitioner in the case where the doctors fails to give wrong treatment or correct treatment, to award any compensation in the case of the negligence. So the patient cannot directly go to the doctor asking for compensation or fighting against him. If the patient is going through this act, he can be judged properly by the authorities. Who is a consumer? In this case, a consumer is any person who hires or avails of any services of a consideration, and includes any beneficiary of such services other than the person who hires or avails of the service, when such services are availed of with the approval of the first mentioned person. So What is a name of consumer? What is the consumer word means? Any person who is consuming or getting thing from the particular owner. So will come under the healthcare system itself. If the patient is called the consumer because he is consuming treatment, he is getting treatment from the hospital or the clinic or the doctors, so he is called the consumer. He is getting some benefits while going for treatment. He is getting cured, so he is consuming cure from the doctors. He is getting treated, so it is called a consumer. What is a service? Service means service of any description which is made available to the potential users but does not include rendering of any service free of charge or under a contract of personal services. Service means providing service to the patient which is done. If he is serving something, he is to get money for that. This does not come under free of service or free of charge. What is mean by law of tort? The tort law is the area of the law that covers most civil suits. The concept of this area of law is to redress a wrong done to a person and provide relief from the wrongful acts of others, usually by awarding monetary damages and compensation. The original intent of the tort is to provide full compensation or proved harms. So this Consumer Protection Act as a main law, which is called the law of tort. The tort law is mainly aims that the patient is benefited by this act. Whether if the patient is got damaged financially or emotionally, the patient gets full compensation for the damage which is done by the patient. Consumer Protection Act 1986. How this act arose? The Consumer Protection Act was passed in 24 December 1986 for the better protection of the interest of consumers and to make provisions for the establishment of consumer councils and other authorities for the settlement of consumers' dispute and for matters connected with therewith. So in the year 1995, even courts were not clear whether doctors are covered under Consumer Protection Act or not. So even though the Consumer Protection Act was aroused in the year 1996, the lawyers or authorities who were there in the court were not sure whether the physicians who give the treatment to the patient also comes under the act. Only the hospitals or the clinic will be punished. So the courts were also not clear in the year till 1995. Only after the year 1995, the Consumer Protection Act proved that the physician is also included in the act. In the year 1995, the Supreme Court decision in the Indian Medical Association brought the medical professions under the section of Consumer Protection Act 1986. Though the Consumer Protection Act was aroused in the year 1986, only after the year 1995, doctors were also included in the act. The medical profession has also been included within the ambit of a service as defined in the Consumer Protection Act 1986. This defined the relationship between patients and medical professionals as contractual and not a master-servant relationship as argued by the medical profession. If the patient comes for a treatment for the particular physician or the doctor, it is called a contract, which is a patient physician contract is done when the patient comes for a treatment. Patient who had sustained injuries in the course of treatment can now sue doctors in Consumer Protection Court for compensation. So if the patient is having sustained injuries when he goes for the treatment to the particular physician, and if he is having any injuries because of the treatment, he can go and sue case. He can file a case on the doctor because he has got injured by the physician under the Consumer Protection Act, that is the law of tort. The categories of doctors, hospitals under CPA, that is Consumer Protection Act, included the following. This we can just read it out and know. All medical practitioners doing independent medical practice unless rendering only free service. So if the free service of healthcare is done, that doesn't comes under the Consumer Protection Act. Only when the treatment is given and the hospital is getting money from the patients, the Consumer Protection Act is applicable. Private hospitals charging all patients, so the private hospitals and all comes under the Consumer Protection Act. All hospitals having free as well as paying patients and the all the paying and free category patients receiving treatment in such hospitals. Medical dental professionals also comes under the Consumer Protection Act. When does a medical service fail under the Consumer Protection Act? Which is the case where Consumer Protection Act does not comes. Services rendered to a patient by a medical practitioner except where the doctor renders service free of charge to every patient, or if the free of service is rendered, free service is given by the hospital to the patient, so this Consumer Protection Act doesn't come, because there is no contract. If you give money, I will treat your disease. So there is no contract when it comes under the free service. Nothing. There is no contract at all. The patient just comes and get treated by the physician. There is no money dealing. So there is no Consumer Protection Act over here. Services rendered at a non-governmental hospital, nursing home, where charges are required to be paid by the person availing such services. Services rendered at a non-governmental hospital, where charges are required to be paid by persons who are in a position to pay and persons who cannot afford to pay. Services rendered by a medical practitioner or hospital or nursing home if the person availing the service has taken an insurance policy for a medical care. If the insurance policy is there already for the medical hospital or the healthcare practitioner or the nursing home, whatever it is, if an insurance policy is already has been available within them, so the Consumer Protection Act is not applicable over there. Whereas a part of the conditions of service, the employer bears the expenses of a medical treatment of an employee and his family members. So the service rendered to such an employee and his family members by a medical practitioner or a hospital or a nursing home would not be free of charge and would constitute service.